What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I'm here to show you another very, very good Digimon deck. I've not been showing you many decks lately because we've been so overwhelmed with news and card reveals and things of that nature. But now that Union Impact is largely revealed and all of that, we've got a bit more time to go through deck lists, and I've got a doozy to share with you today. You see, this was piloted by the lovely Pedro Eugenio Torres, who some of you might know as a phenomenal Pokemon player, as in top 4 at Worlds in 2018, phenomenal. And apparently also picked up the Digimon trading card game, which is awesome. And yeah, he's gone and made an awesome blue deck. Went 4-1 at a tournament recently. This didn't win the tournament, but it did go 4-1, losing in the finals to a mirror match. So I think we can probably say it's a pretty good deck indeed. And yes, it plays Omnimon. Of course it plays Omnimon. They all play Omnimon at the moment. But you know what? It's not just Omnimon. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Now, in terms of Digitama here, we see what we tend to see here quite a lot. We've got 4 copies of Uppamon, and we see this a lot in blue decks. Uppamon sees a huge amount of play because it's got that lovely inheritable skill whereby when you attack, limited to once during your turn, if your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you draw a card. Clearly, this is really, really good here, just in terms of giving you extra draw throughout the game. You need to draw cards. Cards are good. So you know what? This'll do rather nicely. But there is a 5th Digitama here. There is a single copy of Demi-Vemon. Once during your turn, if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, you gain 1,000 power. So, yeah, we've got options to make yourself active. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. We got some ways to do it. Now, moving over into the level 3s, again, we've got something we'd expect to see in basically every blue deck. We've got ourselves 4 copies of Gabumon here. And this is the Gabumon that when you play it, you draw a card. It's draw power. Never underestimate draw power. Draw power in every game is good. That is the case in Digimon as well. So you got your 4 Uppamon and you got your 4 Gabumon. Yes, this is good. This is a kind of thing you should probably get excited about. And we do also have a lovely inheritable skill on Gomamon here. This is the Gomamon that came around again in New Evolution. When destroyed, you gain a memory. No, you don't want Digimon being destroyed, but memory is also a phenomenal resource. It's a kind of thing we need quite a lot of. So yeah, having this is just a really nice level 3. It's 0 cost to evolve, as your level 3s tend to be. It's not particularly expensive, but it gives you extra memory when destroyed. That's a good thing. Now, there are a couple of other level 3s here, but they're actually vanilla. We've got the Gomamon that came around in the starter deck, and it's just here as a nice low-cost option. It's 3,000 power, which isn't huge, but it's a 2 cost to play normally. That's cheap. We've also got the Elecmon from New Evolution, which is exactly the same card. Well, okay, the art and name are different, but it's a blue level 3 that is a 2 cost to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 3,000 power. We're not loving this for any reason other than it's a 2 cost to play normally, so you know what? That'll do, pig. That'll do. Now, in terms of level 4s, this does play 3 copies of my favourite, it's Garurumon. I adore Garurumon. I think it is a phenomenal card. And it's one that I want to be putting in all of my blue decks, personally. It's a one where when you play it, you get to make one of your Digimon active. It is a play skill, not an evolve skill, so remember you've got to play it as a 6 cost. Remember also that Demi-Vemon gives you an extra 1,000 power if you become active, so you see where we're going here. There's a rather nice combo to be made. Now, there is a vanilla level 4 here as well. It is Gorillamon. Honestly, the best thing about Gorillamon is it's a 1 cost to evolve. Simple as that. That's why we like Gorillamon, because we're paying just a single memory to evolve it up. 6,000 power is quite nice. The 6 cost to play normally is actually more expensive than your other level 4s, or at least no cheaper than them. But we're playing it because it's a 1 cost to evolve. It is as simple as that. And then we've got 4 copies of Grizzlymon. Again, this is from the starter deck, and for newer players, you'll notice here there are multiple cards we're playing in this deck that came from the starter. The starter decks are awesome and should definitely be picked up. But Grizzlymon is your blocker here. If you want to attack with Grizzlymon, you've got to give up 2 memory, not something you're going to want to do very often. Really, it's here because it's a blocker, and it's the only blocker we're playing in the deck. We're not tripping blockers here, but you know what? This will work rather nicely indeed if you need one. Now, moving over into level 5s, this is another time when I just get absolutely overjoyed with this particular deck, because it's playing a full 4 copies of Monzaemon. And I've made no secret of my love for Monzaemon. It's one of the most adorable Digimon I've seen. Why are we playing Monzaemon, though? Is it a particularly good card? Well, the answer is yes. It is a particularly good card. And the reason we like it is because it's a 2 cost to evolve. All our other level 5s that we're playing a few different ones here. They're all 3 cost to evolve. This is a 2 cost to evolve. It's not particularly powerful, though the 5 cost to play normally is cheaper than your other level 5s. So it's cheap to play normally, it's cheap to evolve, and it's bloomin' adorable. Although, to be clear, I don't think we're playing Monzaemon for the adorability here. We're playing it because it's cheap and it gets you to your level 6s faster, and that's a very good thing. The only other level 5 we play in multiples here is actually Loda-Leomon. And make no mistake about it, Loda-Leomon here is played because it's a cheap, powerful Digimon. 10,000 power on a level 5 is frankly ridiculous. It's 3 cost to evolve, which isn't cheaper than any of your other level 5s. 7 cost to play normally isn't cheaper than any of your other level 5s. In terms of cost, this is your joint most expensive to evolve and play normally level 5. But it's got 10,000 power as a level 5, and that's why we're playing Loda-Leomon. And then we've just got a bunch of one-offs. We've got the rare Garurumon that came around in the starter deck. Yeah, that's right, another starter deck card. But it's got a really, really nice inheritable skill here, whereby as long as your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you gain security attack +1. So you're taking out an extra security when you attack. That's a very good thing. And you'll notice that this isn't a deck where we're playing a huge amount of cards that remove Digivolution sources. There are lots of blue cards that will do that. We're just not playing a huge amount of them here. Is that a huge problem? No. Because the fact of the matter is, there is still going to be plenty of times during the game where your opponent has a Digimon that has no Digivolution sources, and essentially what we're doing here is we're taking advantage of those situations rather than trying to create those situations. And then we've got 2 one-off Zudamon here. Now, the Zudamon from New Evolution is a very nice one. Now, if you play it normally, and it is a 7 cost to play normally, which is standard for a level 5, but it's still not cheap, you draw 2 cards. It is more expensive than playing 2 Gabumon, but then again, it also gives you a pretty good level 5 on the board, and you don't have to have 2 cards in your hand, so it's still good. And there's an inheritable skill whereby when you're attacking, if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, you gain a memory. And like we've said, we're not really manipulating this. So there's going to be plenty of times where you don't have an opponent with any Digimon with no evolution sources, but there will still be times that you do, and you can take advantage of it rather beautifully. And I said we're playing multiple Zudamon. There is also a single copy there of the Zudamon that came around in Ultimate Power. It's a vanilla card. There's no skills here, but it's a 6 cost to play normally, which is cheaper than your non-Monzaemon level 5s, and it's 9,000 power, so a slightly cheaper, slightly less powerful Loda-Leomon, so that'll do quite nicely. And as we move on to level 6s here, we've got another one from the starter decks. I keep trying to tell you, these starter decks are awesome. They are really, really good. You should definitely pick up all of them. It's Pleasiumon, and Pleasiumon's very much a vanilla kind of card, right? Pleasiumon comes in here, 10 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve, 15,000 power. It is actually your most powerful non-level 7 Digimon. But 2 cost to evolve is cheaper than your other level 6. And 10 cost to play normally is cheaper than your other level 6. And you don't have many skills because it's a vanilla card, and that's fine. The fact of the matter is, sometimes you just need a powerful Digimon. It's got your back. Sometimes you just need a level 6 to evolve into Omnimon. It's got your back. There was a quick side note, editor's note from me here. This is one of the cards in the starter deck where you don't get a playset. You only get 2. So if you are picking up the blue starter deck, you only get 2 Plesionomon, which is why people talk about buying 2 copies of each of the starter decks, so that cards like this you do have a playset of. You've been warned. Now, the other level 6 we're playing here is the Metal Garurumon from New Evolution. There's only 3 copies of this one here, so it is, shall we say, the lesser played of the 2. But this is still a very, very nice card indeed. What we've got here is a slightly more expensive, slightly less powerful level 6. But when you attack, you may play a level 4 or less Digimon from your Digivolution sources as a separate Digimon without paying its cost. So you could play a Grizzlymon, for instance, and then you've got another blocker out on the field. But honestly, for me, there is one clear option. It's Garurumon. Because you do get to activate skills when you do this. So you play Garurumon as its own Digimon, and then you activate the skill which makes one of your Digimon active. It's awesome. Yes, you can play Gabumon to draw a card, and sometimes that will be necessary, but no, this is kind of awesome. And then we get to the level 7. We get to Omnimon. Omnimon is kind of ruling the format right now, so we're going to see a lot of good red decks with Omnimon, and a lot of good blue decks with Omnimon. And what we've got here is a very expensive card. 15 cost to play normally, 6 cost to evolve. But it at least has the decency to have 15,000 power, which is nice. And when you Digivolve, you destroy one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's Digimon with the same name. Basically, you get to pick a name and wipe out all of your opponent's Digimon with that name. That's phenomenal. But when you attack, you may return a level 6 Digimon from this card's Digivolution sources to your hand and make it active. And you've got Garurumon to make Digimon active. And you've got Metal Garurumon skill to make Digimon active by playing Garurumon. And you've got this, which makes it self-active. That is going to give you a number of extra attacks during the game. And that is kind of redonkulous, ladies and gentlemen. But in a lovely way. Now, in terms of options and tamers, we're just playing a single option card. It is Vulcan's Hammer or Hammer Spark, call it what you will. And we're playing 4 copies of it. Not for nothing, it's also a starter deck card by the starter decks. And it's a 0 cost card that gives you an extra memory. So you're basically trading a card in your hand for a memory, which is often going to be huge. Worth noting, if it comes out as a security card, it gives you 2 extra memory, which is rather lovely. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Pedro for being awesome and making an awesome deck. I did hit them up on Twitter and I was just kind of like, I'm totally going to make a profile about this. And they were like, yay, please do. And I was like, yay. Pedro's awesome. He's awesome at Pokemon. He's awesome at Digimon apparently as well. Shouldn't surprise you. People who are great at one card game do tend to take those skills over and be great at other card games. And blue decks featuring Omnimon are definitely among the front runners we need to be looking out for when Digimon drops. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you guys. I'd like to know what you think about all of this, and I'd like to think what you think about this deck. Wait, did that work? I don't even know anymore. Tell me some Digimon stuff. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.